Wisconsin wine guy. We're back with Castle Rock Part 2. Okay? Now, so I did Part 1, the first video of the Castle Rock, the two reds, of the Cabernet and Pinot Noir. You know, and I'll make sure those videos are attached so you can look at them back to back if you like, you know, and have a conversation about the wines amongst yourself or with others. All right? And so today I'm going to be doing the Castle Rock, or I should say Part 2, I'm going to be doing the Castle Rock white wines. Now, for those who are new, these are wines that I like to call everyday drinking wines. You know, some are fantastic, some are okay, some are just, you know, just don't even waste your time with it. But these are everyday drinking wines. What I mean by that is, you go to almost any store, you're going to see these labels, these brands of wines, you know, on their shelves. Liquor store, grocery store, even some wine shops, you're going to find these wines. Everyday drinking wines. You know, the kind of wines that don't break the bank. You know, it stays in between like maybe $6.99 to maybe $20.99. Okay? Everyday drinking wines. So I give a taste of these wines, give you my opinion, what I think about these wines. Utilizing the infamous thumb rating system. Thumbs up says, you know what, I recommend that wine. You can't go wrong with it. 3/4. You know what, I would drink this wine myself. Heck, I may even share this wine with my friends. Okay? Just something, you know, everyday drinking that I want to open up, you know, maybe my $50 or $100 bottles of wine. Right? So halfway. Ooh, something about that wine was off or didn't work for me or wasn't even true to varietal character, you know. So I'm going to tell you why it didn't work for me. It doesn't make it a bad wine. It just didn't work for me, okay? Thumbs down, always an easy one, all right? Get that wine out of here. Don't even waste your time. But again, this is my opinion for my palate. I want you to taste the wines and then let me know in the comments and let the rest of us know that follow me in the comments what you thought about the wine. Okay, so let's get back to Castle Rock. So Castle Rock, we're going to be doing the Chardonnay Appalachian Central Coast 2022. And we're going to be doing the Sauvignon Blanc Appalachian California for 2022. Now, if you watched the first video, or if you didn't watch the first video, I'm going to say it again, that Castle Rock doesn't own any vineyards, but they source their grapes from and contract with growers that they buy the grapes, produce their wines, okay? And they try to work just specifically in certain areas in California. However, okay, I touched on it a little bit in the first video. I want to say more of it here. Castle Rock, early 90s, I thought the wines were pretty solid. You know, I was drinking at Castle Rock back then. I had a wine shop, maybe 2008. You know, tried Castle Rock again. In fact, it was probably this level, and I wasn't too impressed with it. You know, and then now I'm tasting it again. You know, you can see what I thought about the two reds I had, you know, on Part 1, but in Part 2 I'm doing the whites. But the thing that I didn't touch on most of in Part 1 is this, is that, I should say that, you know, the wines from the 70s, from the 80s, from the early 90s, you know, you pretty much kind of got like, you know, pretty solid wines from a lot of these wines, especially a lot of these national brands. You have pretty solid wines, you know, from a lot of these. You know, but when the wine industry began to change and more consumers were drinking wine and they were concerned about, you know, their bottom line and they wanted to make sure that everyone can enjoy wine, because wine should be enjoyable to everyone, no matter what your price point is, right? So they started making different tiers of wines. You know, and when I say tiers, I'm talking about price points. You know, there are a lot of wineries started doing that, so everyone can find a wine or a bottle of wine that they can enjoy and even share with others. So Castle Rock, these are, you know, California's official appellation. It didn't have sub-regions inside the California appellation, but Castle Rock also does appellation specific. So they do specific from Mendocino, specific, you know, from parts of Sonoma. In addition to that, Castle Rock also produces wine from Oregon, in addition to Washington. You know, so they do California, Washington, Oregon, different wines. You know, I'm going to try to see if I can get my hands on some of those and maybe do a blind tasting and see which do I like best. And hope I get them all along the same tier as well, okay? So keep that in mind. Castle Rock not only just makes wines in California, but they also do Oregon and Washington. I didn't say that in the first video, but I wanted to say it here so you'll know that. Now, let's get to today's wines. As I said, line price at this tier from $6.99 on sale to $11.99. Maybe you can find it for $12.99, depending on where you're shopping for wine. 13.5% on the Chardonnay, and we are at 13% on the Sauvignon Blanc. And if you've been following me, you know I always taste the Sauvignon Blanc second, because I don't want it to spoil the taste of the other wines. But then there are some exceptions, and we're going to find out here with these two wines. These exceptions are if it's a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc or New Zealand type Sauvignon Blanc, yeah, that puppy is not getting tasted before any other wine. But some California wines, or some wines from Spain, for example, the Sauvignon Blanc is a lot more fruitier and still has acidity, but a lot fruitier, and the grapefruit is kind of blended in with the other fruits. It could be stone fruit, it could be grapefruit, so it's kind of blended in. So it really depends on the Sauvignon Blanc, or if it's a Fumé Blanc, which you'll find that more predominantly in California. A Fumé Blanc where it has been aged in an oak barrel. I would probably taste that before Chardonnay. But it depends. But we're going to find out today. So here we go. So 13.5% alcohol Chardonnay from Castle Rock Winery out of California. Looking forward to trying this. And again, I used to drink Castle Rock, back in the day. And as I mentioned earlier, I was a fan of it, in the early 90s. A big fan of Castle Rock. And it's like Rodney Strong, and I was a big fan of Rodney Strong, But again, back then, it was different. The 80s and the early 90s, it was different. They were putting out some pretty good wines. But as soon as that tier system came in of affordability, yeah, you got to go to the top shelf, or you got to buy it from the winery to find those wines that are going to give you a better quality of wine. All right? So now, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, you can see some probably light barrel aging on this one here. So we're looking at kind of sunlight yellow hues coming through this one, with hints of green, whereas this goes from very, very light with hints of greenish tints, greenish yellow tints, and clear for the Sauvignon Blanc. Okay, on the nose. Now, from the nose, from here, I can almost say that this isn't a very intense type Sauvignon Blanc. Okay, from the nose here, I can almost say that. But it's always, the proof is always in the taste. But I'm still going to go this way, then come back and see what happens. So let's give them a taste. So, two-step process. Remember, first is going to be the taste for acidity and mouthfeel and balance. And then second, we're just going to taste, give you my opinion on what I tasted, what I smelled, and then rate it. So, let's get a nose here. Chardonnay. Ooh, from here, it goes from some stone fruit to citrus, subtle notes of vanilla. Wow, that actually smells pretty good, the Chardonnay. Just from here. Let's go deeper. Ooh, deeper. It goes, you get less of the citrus, but a more rounded, subtle vanilla nose to it. But very subtle. Then the citrus comes in the background. That nose is really nice on the Chardonnay. Wow. Now, when we talk Central Coast, we're talking like Santa Barbara, Monterey, maybe Paso Robles areas, more cooler areas, in that zone. Wow. Now, let's go with the Sauvignon Blanc. Here we go. Wow. That Sauvignon Blanc, it's like total opposite of the New Zealand. Okay? Total opposite New Zealand. Wow. I mean, it's citrus notes there, but it's very subdued. There's more fruitiness to it. I would even throw in like a white peach on this, with soft hints of grapefruit. All right, that's where I would go with this one. Wow. So I'm curious, but I'm still gonna go here first, go here second, just in case. That's just the nose. It can taste completely different. Acidity can just like wipe this out. So it's more about the acidity from the Sauvignon Blanc that can wipe everything else out that comes after it. So here we go. Rinse first. Decent amount of acidity. What was it, 13.5? Yeah. Decent amount of acidity. You know, and when you get a full rinse, if you watch me rinse, it's like, you know, you can pick up tannins in a white wine, but it's very soft. Almost kind of nutty. But that part we're not talking about yet. But acidity is good. Balance is nice. Now for these Sauvignon Blanc. Good acidity. Soft on the grapefruit. But I'm going to go more with the white peach. I'd even throw in some pineapple, just a little bit, okay? You know, pineapple juice that you just eat it fresh, you know, and not an overly ripe pineapple, okay, where it gets like, you know, very sweet juice. But I'll pick up a little bit of that too as well. But acidity is nice. I think the acidity of both of these are kind of equal, you know, in my opinion. Acidity is kind of equal. Flavor-wise, on the initial taste of the Sauvignon Blanc, it holds its own, but you still pick up, you know, notes from the Chardonnay on the background. You know, that's because its time is spent in barrel. So I'm going to go back here and see what's going to happen. So it holds its own. So Castle Rock, in this case, when it comes to the white wines, acidity seems to be the consensus here. They hold their own. Although the acidity doesn't last you after Sauvignon Blanc, you know, it still does its thing. But it's there, okay? You got to do like a rinse and then another sip to bring this acidity back from the Chardonnay. But it's still there. Now, let's get a taste of both of these and give you my opinion. You know, I think the spread is nice as far as the balance on my palate. That's pretty nice. But here we go. So, just like the reds, these aren't going to like, you know, jump up and down and drive you crazy. It's just simple drinking. I mean, this totally defines the everyday drinking simple wines. Okay, it's not going to peak here or there. It's going to be neutral across the board. Okay, I like the elements. You know, with the oak, you know, with the fruit, with the citrus, with the acidity. You know, the elements of this is pretty nice in Chardonnay. So if you want a Chardonnay that's not going to be here or there or just be all over the place, but it's going to be kind of like nice and neutral, and you can sit there and you just drink, you know, on just any day, any time of the year. I think this will work for that. You know, everyday drinking, right? Okay. Now let's go to the Sauvignon Blanc. Now, if you are a true, hardcore New Zealand drinker, Sauvignon Blanc, this isn't the one. I'm telling you right now, this is not it. Okay? Forget about it. Forget about it. But if you want something that's subtle, that's easy to drink, I think it's going to be this one here. Okay? If you're a sweet wine drinker, maybe. Both of these are dry. In fact, I think there's a lot more dryness coming from the Sauvignon Blanc than Chardonnay. But let's get to the rating, okay? To the rating. Chardonnay. Sauvignon Blanc. So, for everyday drinking, everyday simple drinking, okay? 3/4 here, 3/4 here. I'll tell you why I say 3/4. I was in between halfway and 3/4, but I'll go 3/4 because, again, everyday drinking. It has Chardonnay elements, but they're not over the top. Okay, it's just a good sipping. You don't have to think about it. You can just drink this wine, and you get little pieces. Oh my God, I taste the oak. You know, oh my God, you know, I guess it. Oh my God, I taste this. You know, you get that. You know, unassuming. You don't have to think about it, and you just drink and just enjoy. Okay, enjoy the conversation if you're with someone. The Sauvignon Blanc, it's not overly rated, over crashing with, citrus or acidity, or just like powerful like New Zealand. It doesn't have some of the nuances of some better Sauvignon Blancs, from California. But I think it's just, again, a simple, everyday drinking. Probably be great in the summer. Like, fantastic in the summer to drink this wine here. Something that you pour, you still get your citrus notes, grapefruit, you still, in this case, as I said, you get a little pineapple, and so it just makes it overall good, just everyday drinker. So there you have it. 3/4 on both of these, $6.99 on sale, $11.99, $12.99 regular price. There you have it. Wisconsin Wine Guy says, let your palate be the guide selecting your wine. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to see if I can find some food to go with these wines, the reds and the whites, and see what we come up with, right? So, I'll see you next time when we review wines for this 2024 season. And let your palate be, blah, blah. Did you hear that? Let your palate be the guide, as always. Ciao!